Good morning. Forgive me if I seem a little tired. We flew in last night and did not get here until about 11:30. So I'm going to come to you today with more Enneagram and nutrition. So to recap from last week, I started talking about the body center and how those types relate to nutrition. Just a real quick overview on the Enneagram again. It's a 9-point personality system that demonstrates how each personality type, there are again 9, adapts as a child to receive love and validation. It's not just what you are, but why you are the way you are. It gives you ways to grow personally and professionally and emotionally. Shows you kind of maybe where your rumble strips are if you're going towards maybe the unhealthy side of your type. And it also talks about your unconscious motivations, your core fears, and your core desires. So what does that have to do with your nutrition? A lot, because our relationship with food, again, is one of the most significant relationships we will ever have in our lives. Food has so much power over us, both in a good way and in a bad way. It's really social. It brings people together. It's cultural, environmental, et cetera, but it also evokes pain, fear, feelings of control or lack of control, can cause anxiety, isolation, all of these things. So every person has at one point struggled with a relationship or a disordered relationship with food. So I just thought I would go through all the centers. Last week I did the body center and gave you some strategies by Enneagram type to improve your relationship with food. So today we're talking about the heart center. That's your 2s, 3s, and 4s. They are very emotional. They are relational. They just need a strong sense of purpose, a yearning, a longing for a purpose. They all take in life through their feelings. Remember last week, the gut or the body center was action and the gut instincts. The 2s, 3s, and 4s are very much about their heart. What do I feel? They're very feeling. They're all concerned with image. They're seeking attention, and their underlying issue is predominantly shame. And each of them have a different way of dealing with their shame. 2s tend to focus their feelings outwards because they don't want to feel shame. 3s tend to deny their feelings because they want to resist shame. And then 4s focus their feelings inward in hopes of avoiding deeper shame. So I'll stop with the type 2. These are the helpers. We have a lot of 2s in our organization as well. Their core vice is pride. So that's their deadly sin, if you will. And I call these the emotional eaters. They tend to overexpress their emotions, and they see food as a form of nurturing. They either focus too much on feeding others and then they neglect themselves, or they're very prone to emotional eating, binge eating. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie What's Eating Gilbert Grape, but the mother, who is, I think, bound to her house, can't leave because food is just love. That's how she loves her people. That's how she loves herself. The bigger the spread, the bigger the love. But instead, remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. So you've got to take care of yourself first. And one of the best ways, one of the most important ways to take care of yourself is through your nutrition. Fueling your body is a temple. Fueling your body with healthy foods allows you to be able to take better care of other people. Look for more productive non-food activities to cope with your stress. I know we have some people doing the step bets in the past, just getting out in the fresh air, going for a coffee with a friend, just pouring into yourself. And remember, honoring your emotions is important. You cannot push them aside to take care of everybody else, but you also don't need to do that with food. So there's some coping mechanisms or some tips for number 2s. Now we'll move on to the type 3s. These are the performers, the achievers. They want to appear successful, avoid looking like a failure at all costs. At all costs, you're looking at a 3. Their underlying vice is self-deceit. So they are the least in touch with their feelings of anyone on the Enneagram. I call these the detached eater. They are just highly rational and detached from the comforting aspects of food. They look at food as fuel, a means to an end. They're too busy achieving, doing things to sit down and really enjoy what food can bring to them above just fueling their body. They micromanage food to achieve health and fitness goals. So is it a wonder that I ever decided to get into competing? Because I mean, heck, I can control the heck out of this and weigh my food down to the ounce and the gram. They have a strong sense of self-control, and they are extremely disciplined, because that's winning. That's another way to win. And they can develop anorexia if they're overly focused on food. So they're very prone to developing that eating disorder. So instead, you threes, take time to enjoy your food, taste it, chew it. It's not rushing through a meal, sitting at your desk so you can get more productive and get more done. Just really enjoy every bite. Practice becoming present in the moment with the people around you, the smells around you, the smells of your food, and then listen to your body's needs and respond without worrying about the macros, the calories. Realize that not everything in life needs to be tracked and measured. A lot of things, but not everything, and not always. You certainly don't want to let go of your portion control and just kind of having an eye on it, but you don't need to have it down to the gram or the ounce all the time. So that's hopefully helps for you threes out there. Number fours, these are the individualists. They are artsy. Think they're in the performers or artists, or they're very bright brain dominant generally. Their underlying core fear is envy. And I like to call these guys the thoughtful, or girls, the thoughtful eaters, because they are artistic and deeply in touch with their emotions. Fours feel their emotions more than anyone on the Enneagram. So threes don't feel them at all, or at least in touch, and fours feel them enough for everybody else. And then they tend to express their emotions through food. They don't have very predictable palates because they have to feel it. So if it's fall, they're feeling fall foods. If it's summer, they're feeling barbecue. If it's, they have to be everything has to be like a symphony for them. They make choices based on the setting, the event, the time of the day. They typically wouldn't have breakfast for dinner. That's absurd to them. They may create a lot of rules in their nutrition, only eat cake on birthdays. Tacos are only to be consumed on Taco Tuesday. They might find themselves also just mindlessly grazing on unhealthy snacks, even if they're not hungry, just because of the setting or the atmosphere, and they just feel compelled to. Feel, that's the big word for the fours. Instead, fours, you can practice gratitude with your meals, no matter what you're eating. Focusing less on the feel and more on the real. Like, am I hungry? Do I even like tacos? I think that's probably a rhetorical question. I can't imagine anybody would answer no to that. Practice honoring hunger and fullness cues. Okay, so just because somebody puts it in front of you, you're wanting to get in be part of the action and feeding on all of the food that's in front of you. Are you really hungry? Are you really craving? Do you really want that? And then add beauty to your food through colorful vegetables and different spices and smells, and fruits and vegetables can really create that atmosphere that they're looking for and add a healthy twist. And then make mealtime both healthy and enjoyable. So it doesn't have to be one or the other to be nutritionally dense and to fulfill your core needs. So that is the Heart Center. Next week, we are coming to you with the Head Centers, our 5s, 6, and 7s. So I hope you have an awesome weekend. And as always, be distinctive.